Hello, ladies and gentlemen, fellow humans, my brethren in Christ. You join us coming up to the crux of quali here in Singapore. We held off quali just to get on to the main event, which is really what we're all here for, is the race, and of course the ultimate lap, the quali lap. Fill you in quickly just before the current pole sitter Dan sets his ultimate lap. You got McKendry, he decided not to start a lap, and he is opting, I believe he's opting to start last. We have a few reserves in as well, Icewind and Tilda, to name one or two. But as it stands, Dan the Man currently sitting up top here of pole with a 27.7, Justin closely snapping at his heels with a 27.8, and then everyone else quite far off, to be fair, those top two, with 28.6s. And we're about to get on the board here with Dan, but before we do, I'll just say that it's myself, Tipsy Bob, and of course, Mr. Chief.
Hello everybody, yep, we're back. It's Tier 1, Singapore, yep. Looking forward to this one, as always. Not the greatest turnouts, Bob, but we're here. We show up every week, without fail.
We're committed. That's something that's being lost in these young fellows, Chief, is commitment. And but alas, we will say no more. Dan the Man is on his ultimate lap. He clips the wall going into the first DRS section there, Chief, as they're running down. And I like to say, eyes firmly fixed on the sector one, and that clipping of the wall has affected him. He is not up in his time. Justin, I'll keep an eye on Justin. He's also coming to the end of his sector one. He is up a little bit, which is still not enough. It'll be currently at a 27.8 dead with that improvement. Dan the Man now navigating this twisty section of Singapore. A personal favourite of mine, Chief, as you know full well. I've raced many seasons here in SLR and in 2S, and Singapore was an absolute, I would say, a fan favourite, but it was certainly a favourite of mine. Had some tasty results here, namely starting last, I think, and finishing second. But Dan the Man finishing sector 2 is up on his time. Justin is also up on his time now. That's a bit more like it from Justin. That actually, at the moment, it would be enough, I believe, to take pole off Dan. Dan is going to have to nail this last sector 3, and he needs an improvement here, Dan. He needs a decent improvement. That might just be, just be enough.
Yeah, Justin hit the wall there, Bob, coming out of the penultimate corner, so this might have cost him a little bit, but no, he takes pole. He just had enough across the line there, yeah.
I will be surprised if anyone else beats that, although in saying that, Meepo is up 4/10, which is, still not enough to get anywhere near these guys. In sector 2, he's up 4/10. I don't know if anybody else is up by much, but I'm going to stick with Meepo, and he's going to come along the last corner, avoids the wall that Justin clipped. A full commit, as best as you can. Just as much about missing out on invalidating. He almost does a 28 dead. Tudge is about to cross the line, DRS open, and he then finishes P4. Tuna Man is up a good bit. He might take one of these positions off these guys, and he does indeed takes P4, and then Desi, who says in chat in the Discord that he's finished, literally finished, he takes P5, so it's a Ferrari P4, P5, and there you go. Icewind is actually not going to finish his lap, so there is our quality grid for Singapore. Justin just pipping the post of Dan the Man there, 1 minute 27. Justin will likely be seeing that as a mini victory. He just missed out on that fantastic result that finished last week, Chief, and that last, literally across the line finish when Dan just snapped the victory from the clutches of Justin. So Justin will be determined to capitalise on that pole, Chief, and take the full maximum 25 points here today.
Yeah, we tend to get that very close finishes in Tier 1, which is, it's become the order of the day. I think if there isn't one today, we're going to be disappointed, Bob.
Absolutely, man. You caught me mid-swallow of my cup of tea there.
Good time, I might join you in that swig.
You get a wee swig there while I'll call it good here. So P1 is Justin, of course, as we've seen. P2, Dan the Man with 27.7. Meepo for the first, the highest ranking Finn in quali in P3. Then, of course, Tuna and Adesi 4th and 5th. Tudge takes 6th. Quali P7. Crystals P8. Fox 9 till the 10, and lining up the last two places is Icewind in the Mark P11. and McKender P12 in the McLaren. And I've seen people in the past, maybe I asked a long time ago, why do we call them down even in quali? And many reasons, but I think the main reason is that if there is a failed lobby restart or a failed lobby, a formation lap or whatever, then we have a direct calling or tell them our quote, let's say, off the grid, so that we can fit them all into their respective slots. Now, Chief, this is going to be a long formation lap. What do you think? Well, I was going to say, what do you think is going to happen? I think we kind of know what's going to happen. We're going to get a race of 12 drivers. The only thing is, safety cars are quite common in Singapore, given the nature of the track. One would expect, well, with so few drivers, it's unlikely, but don't be so sure. It only takes one little mistake, and there's a few drivers, they shall remain nameless, but there are a few drivers on track that are prone to the odd hiccup, let's say, even on the most widest tracks. So it's quite possible that they could have a little bit of a whoopsie in Singapore and bring out a safety car. So everything is still all to play for. Chances of getting points here today are quite high, considering there's only 12 drivers. But I don't know, Chief, I reckon me and you would still probably struggle with 12.
Yeah, we'll be relying on that safety car. We'll not mention names when it comes to the main protagonist of the safety car call-out, X-Crystal.
Yes.
I was wondering there, I just went off on a wee tangent in my own world there while you were talking, and I was wondering who the thinnest Finn person is in Finland.
The thinnest or the thinnest?
The thinnest thin person.
Okay. Who would be the thinnest?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They should have a yearly contest. Who's the thinnest Finn?
A Finnish thin-off?
Finish him. Yeah, anyway. I did just have a nap. I'm just awake, so I'm just coming to my senses. But yeah, Bob, as always, great to have you in the commentary booth. It's a pleasure. I sometimes find myself just listening to your lovely golden tones and just drifting off,
That's what Tara says, that my dulcet tones. A fun fact, anyone that is listening and is not in Discord or hasn't been kept up with the ongoings in Discord, Dice one time, that goat Dice, he once said to me that I have a voice that could put people to sleep. I didn't know whether that was a compliment or an insult, but he assured me it's a compliment. He says I should read bedtime stories to children. Now, considering that I'm not a very big fan of children, it's unlikely that that's going to happen.
Interesting.
But if there is anyone out there that would like me to read anything or do any audiobooks or do any voiceovers, do you know what I would love, Chief, while we're waiting here? I think I've already told you this before, off air. I would love to be, I'm not even joking, I would really love to do it, would be a ring announcer for a boxing match.
Yeah.
I would just love to do that. Ladies and gentlemen in the red corner. Flip me, I'd love to do that.
Yeah, it's your calling, man. I think you should chase the dream, yeah.
Maybe I should send a wee email to Michael Buffer. I wonder if he actually did his thing on YouTube. Could they copyright it? Because he has protected that. That's why you don't get anyone else, doing that. I was going to do it there. I can't do it.
Yeah, you'll get us struck off stream. Copyright. Yeah, I mean, you could change it up a bit. You could say something slightly similar, but not quite. Let's get ready to rumble. Let's get ready to.
Well, there was a boxer way back in the 90s, and he used to say, "Let's get it on." He used to say that all the time. Oh, but you always know that whenever Michael Buffer's going to do it, because he starts off by saying, "I'll say it was for the thousands in attendance and for the millions watching around the world," and then he says his line.
Let's get ready to race, I guess you could say.
Let's get ready. Yeah, do that.
This is a stream, man. I think it's all set up for you to do the big
reveal. This is my platform. Anyway, we're going to have a race here, Chief. Meepo just lining up onto the grid here. I'm going to run on board with Meepo. And we're just waiting for the lights to come on. Here we go. The lights are on. Nobody's home. The lights are on, and Boom! Justin leads us away here at Singapore, and everyone seems to be getting a pretty decent launch off the line. Of course, the front four are on hards. Oh, and then the man nearly runs deep. Oh, and somebody hits the back of Tuna. It's a Desi, I think, get caught out there, and he hit the back of his teammate, and that actually might have caused him a little bit of damage. I'm not sure. I think he's okay. Tudge then had a little look up there at Desi as he was getting correcting all a whole Ferrari incident. But yeah, I'm not sure what happened there with Dan the man. I think he might be quite keen to get past Justin quite early here, and yeah, had a little bit of a sniff there, but nothing doing. Normally what we normally see in these tier 1 races, that these guys at the front, the fastest guys of course, is that they usually fight for position for roughly 1 lap, and then it all settles down and then the DRS games begin. But I have a feeling, they might not see that so much. I have a feeling that Dan the man might go for it when he can. I can see it moved further back to Mac, who started like
McKender's slicing his way through the
field.
Oh dear.
Someone's in the wall, and it's
Crawley, yeah, Mercedes in the wall.
Someone else in the wall is Fox as well.
Oh dear.
Fox is in the wall, and no safety car, my goodness. So car needs already on this in Singapore. No safety cars though, so the money's going to keep it at the wall. I've seen in other tracks, Chief, the safety car would come out for less than that, so they are quite fortunate there's no safety car. But I mean, starting with this grid, with so few in the grid, and you're already like so far off the back, it's going to be a nightmare for Crawley and Fox. I wouldn't be surprised if one of them pits early and retires. But anyway, still have a race on our hands here, Chief. Dan the man, as I was saying, yeah, I would expect these guys to not hang about. One driver who's not keen on hanging about, Chief, is of course Meepo. He was lamenting last week his frustrations. He was kind of dominating the race in terms of leading it, and he was lamenting the fact that I think it was Justin was behind him, and Justin just wasn't making the effort to overtake. Now, fair enough, it is a legitimate strategy. I mean, as if you're behind in certain tracks like Qatar, for example, Icewind left the session. Oh, we've lost Icewind. I think that is actually a technical difficulty he's having.
Fox left the session as well. That's not a good sign.
Well, that's what I thought, Chief. As I said there, you're so far off the back, lap 1, I wouldn't be surprised. But Mac, excuse me, a little bit of a hiccup there. Mac is marching up the grid here.
Yeah, that's the second time he's made that move. The first lap he got a move on there as well, so that seems to be a little trick of his. Maybe using a little bit of ERS, catch the guy ahead off guard. You don't usually use ERS there, but Mac is getting it done. He's up to P7 already, yeah, so he's slicing through the field as per usual.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's only going to work a few times. I don't think it's going to work anymore because he's coming up against his old teammate. And Tudge, he knows exactly how Mac works. And then, of course, you've just got this grid in front of you. So I was kind of saying in the build-up to this quality that with Mac retiring early, whether it was intentional or not, it's really not ideal, because even if you do have as much pace as McKenna does have, trying to, cut your way through the field in somewhere like Singapore is not going to be easy. Overtakes are not that overtaking opportunities, are not that abundant. And he's got like error. I got a internet connection, Chief.
Oh dear, so you're out of the session?
I'm out at the moment. I'm going to see if I can get back in. That might be what Icewind's having, so yeah, I'm going to try and get back in, Chief.
Okay, yeah, I'll take over then. Tipsy Bob has left the session, it says on screen there, but yeah, looking at the grid here, not much change at the front of the grid. 4 drivers on hard tires. Desi on mediums, so we keep an eye on him and McKender. They'll be wanting to make these count, these mediums, but after about 4 laps they start to stabilize and they're pretty much on par pace wise with the hard tire. So yeah, might look good now for McKender and Desi, but might not look so good at the end of the race when they're on the harder tire compound. I'll also take a moment here to look at chat. We've got Lepson, is the only guy in chat right now, saying Chief on shrooms. Yeah, that can be arranged if you want. It might not be the most enjoyable stream to watch, I'll be talking a lot of rubbish, but Bob is the in real life Jigglypuff. There you go, Bob. What an endorsement from Lepson. Danny Co setting the fastest lap there, so Justin was, I think he had 3 fastest laps there until Danny Co crossed the line for that 3rd lap. He snatches it away, so Danny Co and Justin exchange it. Oh, and we've got another driver left the session. It's a Desi. This isn't looking good, Bob. 3 drivers.
Yeah, I'm back in.
You're back
I'm back in. The issue that I was having there getting back in was the friends list was being disconnected, but Steam was still online. So a bit bizarre. I think that's what's happening. There's a couple of technical difficulties going on with Steam at the moment. But anyway, I'm back. Jigglypuff, I have absolutely no clue who that is.
It's a Pokemon that sings rather weirdly and sends everybody to sleep.
Ah,
I only know this because my wife told me. She's big into Pokemon.
Oh, I was going to say I don't watch cartoons, but
I missed that boat. Yeah, I totally missed that boat.
Yeah, I mean, people talk about anime and stuff, and apparently some Dragon's Balls and stuff. I mean, they're cartoons to me, but apparently it sets people off when you say that. But they are effectively called cartoons.
Yeah, I don't watch cartoons so much anymore. But yeah, whatever you're into, whatever makes you happy. Yeah. Desi is dropping down the order here. Bob McKender's made his way past, and Desi, yeah, Iceland's joined back in. So this sucks. I mean, especially in a 12-man race, this is not looking good for these guys. Desi is P7, still ghosted, so has not been able to get back in the car. Iceland P10, and way off the front pack here. So not good for those guys. Touge as well, getting a free second time penalty. So yeah.
Did Fox leave the session? Did he retire or leave the session? Because it looks like
it said he left. Yeah.
Oh, okay, but he's ghosted at the moment. The Desi is back in. Yeah, a couple of people are having the same issue that I had, and I don't normally have any issues with F1 really. So yeah, definitely something up down, man. Yeah.
Yep, down right on the back of Justin there. Looked like he was thinking about a move, but he's happy enough to stay back for now. But I tell you what, Meepo is starting to put a bit of pressure on from behind. So Danny Coe, his hand might be forced soon enough. We know that Meepo, he was arguing in chat last week, you know, that he was angry, kind of a bit frustrated with Justin not passing him and using a bit of ERS to do so. And this is the case here. He's in this situation. We're going to see if he does what he was talking about, what he was instructing Justin should have done. Is he going to push here and try and get a move on? But Danny Coe, of course, has DRS on Justin as well. So tough ask for Meepo, but Meepo is an aggressive driver, so he might add a bit of spice to this race.
Yeah, that's something I was touching on earlier, Chief, about people lamenting that fact. But see, fair enough. You could argue that it's so frustrating this guy sitting behind me. But I mean, it is depending on the track. It is a legitimate strat to use. I mean, I've used it myself. If I'm in P2 and it's a massive DRS, run down with the DRS, I'm just going to sit there for the last lap. It makes total sense. So I kind of agree with Justin's strategy that way, but at the same time I can understand Meepo's viewpoint because we're here to race.
Yeah, and I think also, straight after a race, emotions are running high as well, because Meepo, to be fair to him, did applaud. Oh, and we're getting a move. Danny Coe is going for a move on Justin. So that last lap was a cider lap. This lap, he puts it into action, and he gets the move done. So he's up to P1, so he's not holding back, and he's going to try and push on. But it's going to be a big ask for him to break that DRS range. So Justin's probably... Oh, Justin's full of ERS right now, 100%. I don't like to see that. I wonder why drivers do that. Like, why would you have 100% ERS? Because you're effectively missing out on, recharge. You can't charge anymore once you're at 100%, so you may as well use them so you can charge up during the lap, Yeah,
but I think what you were going to say there was that rightfully so, Meepo was should have won the race really last week, and it's understandable that he would be frustrated. Anyone would, but I think just the only difference is, of course, that he is, he's still a young man, so these emotions can shine through, which, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's great to see the raw emotion of people. It means that they care.
Yeah, and speaking of Meepo, we have big news, and we've got some intel in chat. His father has said he did buy Meepo jalapeno nuggets today. That's huge.
Jalapeno nuggets?
Spicy nuggets, eh?
So
yeah, he may well bring the spice to the race here,
Well, you see, the thing is, as we say, the shoe is on the other foot now. Meepo leading last week, obviously frustrated the guy behind, but now it's the roles reversed. So this actually could work in Meepo's favour if he hangs on, doesn't force anything too soon, and and just stick with these guys in the DRS. Of course, he does have a charging Tuna behind Gennari. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how these guys go. How long the hards last, I am not sure. I would imagine they last a fair amount. But yeah, we're going to see what's happened here. I have a feeling Meepo probably is going to try and challenge Justin, because Meepo is a racer through and through. Like, he doesn't like this idea of just sitting. But a bit like Max Verstappen, like whenever the people play those quali, the quali games, I don't want to give Slipstream, or no, it's my turn this week, and all that nonsense. Max just says, to hell with it, I'm going to go out on my own and just set the fastest lap I can do.
Yeah.
And I think Meepo's got a wee bit of that mentality. He's not interested in these games. He just wants to race. Which is why he gets himself into such great positions and great results. But of course, it can come back and bite him, as it did last week. But this is a new week and a new Meepo with his jalapeno nuggets. So hopefully that should give him a wee bit more fire in that Williams.
Yeah, and just speaking about Meepo as well, he has come on a lot since he joined SLR quite a number of seasons ago, quite a young driver, so he's maturing nicely. I've seen a lot of maturity from him this season, and I think it's translated into some really good results, even though he did miss out on that win last week. But even the way he dealt with that afterwards, obviously lashing out at Justin immediately after the race, but then apologising, that's different. The Meepo from before wouldn't have apologised, and it would have just caused issues, but
yeah, no, it definitely, it's as we say, the measure of the man is if someone's willing to apologise and admit they were wrong. And yeah, as you say, Meepo is turning into quite a stellar young man. Yep. And a stellar driver he is as well on track. Of course, he did take the first victory of this season in Tier 1, and he's been rattling at the heels of Mac and Justin here and Dan throughout the season. So yeah, Justin is still nicely on the back here of Dan the Man. And of course, as you said, that Chief, still with a full battery. Meepo obviously deploying a good bit, probably just doing his best to keep up, because we did see in quali that Justin and Dan do have their legs over pretty much the whole grid. We never got to see the potential of Mac because he didn't set a time, but I would say it wouldn't be far off.
Yeah, if I was Danico right now, if I had the information that Justin isn't using the ERS, I might try to use a bit of ERS to just catch him off guard and maybe try and break away. But as you can see, Justin is right on the heels of Danico, so maybe that's a big ask. Maybe Danny's just right, just holding on to that ERS and not blowing his load per se. But Meepo, or not Meepo, sorry, Tanari, who is hanging in with his lead bunch, he's out of ERS.
Justin's going for it, Chief. Justin's going for the takeover the race lead. Dan the Man gonna fight this one, and we're gonna go too wide. Oh, 2 into 1 doesn't always go in this corner, and they managed to make it, and they're still fighting. Excuse me. And they're still fighting. Oh my God, you're going out of room, Dan. Be careful, you can get pinched. This is fantastic driving from Justin and Danny. That was a stellar performance of defensive maneuver from the 2-time Tier 1 champ and the current leader of the grid. Justin is really starting to put the pressure on Dan. Probably just having a little bit of a nibble there at Dan to see, okay, what have you got going for you, son? Meepo, I think there was something happened further back. I thought I seen a little bit of a shake on Justin's screen there, whether there was an incident further back, maybe a little bumping or a tapping, I'm not sure. But yeah, things are starting to heat up. We may only have 12 drivers, but certainly this battle up the front is lining up nicely, Chief. That was a fantastic side-by-side action by Justin and Dan. And as I said, doesn't matter how good the drivers are, if you start fighting that close in Singapore, seeing those walls are always ready to eat up these drivers, and Meepo is in a fantastic spot to capitalise on any potential trip up between Dan and Justin.
Yeah, and I was riding on board with Meepo there, as that was transparent between Danico and Justin, and Meepo was just setting his car up nicely just in case something happened, and he would be able to follow through and maybe take a position or two. And it didn't work out this time, but yeah, that's kind of measured approach you want to have. You want to just place your car in the right spot, and we're seeing Justin having a look, and he backs out of it for now. Still 100% ERS for Justin, and Danico 73%, so it wouldn't be not much difference between the two of them. But yeah, Tanari, he's really going to have to save a bit of ERS. He's down to 16%, so he's using his ERS to stay up with his pack, but he's starting to, he's starting to run out completely, and Tuji's on the back, and McKender is closing up as well, 1.3.
I tell you what, Chief, you see that run down in the DRS? I don't know if you noticed. That was quite telling. Dan actually ran deep, a little bit deeper than he would have liked. So Justin will have banked that in his mind, knowing that Dan will break late. And so, he potentially could force Dan, to miss a break point. Justin was never ever going to send that, but he obviously made it look like he was. And Dan seemed to... Well, I suppose he was allowing for the fact that Justin might do it, so he was running deep. But also, Justin was losing a tiny bit of ground on Dan, and by pushing and catching up, he almost lost the rear end coming onto that bridge section. So,
yeah, we've got McLaren in the pits, Bob. It's McKender is the first medium runner to pull the trigger. He is in the pits. Will put on a set of hards, I would imagine, unless he goes for one of his crazy strats. I don't think he will this time around. Yeah, putting... No, hold on. He was on mediums, and he switched to mediums, so he will have to pit again.
Here comes Justin again. Is he going to fake another dive? Sure, nah, he's going to back out of that one. And yeah, Dan takes that corner back. Meepo is just about hanging on to this battle. And do you know what's going to happen? I think Justin, whenever we get near the pit stop, I think Justin will start to effectively blow his load, as you say. And when he will really fully commit to the lap of getting past Dan, and then probably get the P1, and then he'll probably want to start deploying to try and stretch a little gap. Not necessarily on Dan, but certainly over the rest of the field. And of course, again, the safety car is always very pressing here. Anything can happen. We almost got an early one with Fox and Crawley. Fox still not back in the session. I don't think he intends coming back.
I'm looking at chat here as well. We've got Lepson saying pit window is around lap 17, so that's when the window will be for the hards. Jan asking, is Meepo's front wing okay? Because he rear-ended Danny at the start of the race, which I assume he is okay out there, because he's keeping up with these with Danico and Justin, who we saw in quali, are on pace at this track. And
there's no visible. Sorry, Chief. There's no visible damage on Meepo's front wing. I'm just checking here. Of course, that doesn't tell you the whole picture, but at the moment, it looks like he's okay. He doesn't seem to be struggling into these corners. Let me see if I can run on board with him. Yeah, good bit of turning. No, I think his car is pretty much intact. Meepo's car seems to be intact at all. We have a yellow flag further back. I think it was Crystals had spun, and yeah. Desi in the pits, Chief, and he's also he's sticking on the hard, so that's him done. So something's going to give here, I think, between Justin and Dan. Would I be surprised if they go into the pits like this? Maybe, I don't know. I think one of these guys is going to try and pit early or pit late. I don't think they're going to mirror each other. If they mirror each other, well, then it's just same old, same old. I think something might have to happen here.
Yeah, Justin tends to like to try different things, maybe going a bit later, maybe going a bit earlier. McKender as well, that is an odd... We see this from McKender this season, don't we? Where he'll start at the back, or he'll have a weird strategy in the race. He tends to end up in good spots though, so he is definitely committed to a 2-stop today, and we'll keep an eye on how that goes. Obviously he's 2.9 behind P7 Icewind, and I imagine going to catch him pretty quick. Yep.
Tell you what, Chief, to see Dan, this back marker of Fox is just beautifully positioned for Dan, because this is going to give Dan DRS. So, yeah, he's definitely, I believe that's how it works. Dan should have, or is he? Oh, did he pass him? I think he just passed him before the detection line. Oh, damn it.
Yeah, if he had Justin pushing him through turn 1, turn 2 there, so as this, I think Justin wants to get as close as possible. Looks like he's going to make a move this time. Tanari is out, what is going on? He's ghosted, he's left session. Oh my God.
Justin Chief is going for the move now. This is what I thought. Dan is also going to fight this one again. I think he has to give that one up, yeah. So now I expect to see Justin starting to unravel that battery of his. I would expect, as we're getting into these pit stop these pit stop window for the hards, expect to see Justin, well, he's still not using it yet, but I would expect to see him really starting to unload that.
Yeah, indeed, we may see him dial into that ERS, maybe get a few fastest laps on screen as well, though McKender is out there on fresh mediums, Adesi on fresh hards, and yeah, I mean, Adesi's on a typical strategy, but McKenna, that two-stop, I still think he's going to do well in this race somehow, some way. He always finds a way to get up there.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, though, to see if Maple had been closer to this battle earlier on, you just know he would have been sending something. Like, he wouldn't be hanging about. I just think that I honestly think that just Justin and Dan over the length of the track, they just have the legs on him to be able to keep him just far enough away that he can't really dive, or he can't really try and mix anything up. So yeah, but Maple's still keeping in touch. Tudge is doing a great job as well. Of course, he does have that time penalty, and Tuna Man will of course start dropping back because he has connection issues. Oh, Mac running a little bit deep there, using quite a lot of battery.
Bob, here's something to consider, right? McKenna's 22 seconds behind the leader. The leaders still have to pit. He still has to pit, but he's on the fresher tires. So he may well eat into that gap a lot more than... yeah, he'll cut it down. It'll be 22 right now, but he's going to make big inroads on these fresh tires, and then he'll be on soft at the end of the race. So he may well be in the mix for a podium spot, maybe even the win. And we're not even at the halfway point in the race as well. Worth pointing out.
No, Mac knows exactly how to manage these races, and I'm certain he knows what he's doing. He's probably going for a medium soft, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But yeah, where are we here with Dan and Justin? Justin's still not unloading that battery, and neither really is Dan. I think Dan has figured this out, and not really using much at all. Meepo, again, still sitting around that 50%, just hanging on to that DRS. I think Meepo's just doing enough to hang on to the DRS, but not really able to push more, because if he does start deploying more, then of course he's going to suffer the consequences of doing so in the race later on. Here we go, DRS open for Meepo. And wonder when these guys are going to pit. Mediums, how long do the mediums last? 12 laps?
Yeah, they can go a bit longer as well. I think if we, I'm watching Justin here, and as soon as you see him using a lot of ERS, I think that's the lap he's going to pit. He's obviously going to try and... Yeah, you do get quite a significant bit of ERS back in the pit, so yeah, I think if you don't use... If you're at 100% heading into the pits, that's not a good look. You definitely want to use a good portion of it before you head into the pits, because you will get it all back.
Meepo's starting to really run deep here. I wonder those hards are really starting to fall off the cliff for him. And Singapore is a unforgiving track when the tires give up on you, and they give up pretty quickly from what I remember. This here section that they're going through now is the most tricky when your tires give up. My goodness, it's so easy to lose it there, coming across underneath that bridge. But as you say, rightfully, I would also expect to see Justin to start unloading his battery as we're coming into the penultimate, or the penultimate, I keep saying penultimate in the wrong way, coming up to the pit stop for him. Nothing doing just yet, and of course not really any other battle on track, although Crystals is quite close to, Tilda is quite close to, no, Crystals is close to Crawley. So there might be something further back there. Actually, I'm going to run on board with this, Chief, to watch this, because... Crawley gone a little bit deep, and Crystal's trying to force his way around. You cannot go side by side here. Back out of that one. Now you might see Crystals trying to go up the inside. A little bit of lag, and yeah, that's a move easily done by Crystals, of course, on the fresh hards. Back up with Dan. Oh, Justin nearly losing it there. So yeah, tire starting to give up. Lap 16. Nothing doing. Meepo also pushing. Tuna Man is getting overtaken by Mac, but that of course is because he cannot rejoin. So Tuna is definitely falling out of the order here. Desi hasn't really been able to catch up since he also disconnected Crystals. Who is that? Tilda in the pits, getting off these mediums, and still nothing showing from Dan and Justin, and again Meepo keeping in close contention. Tuna has rejoined and likely will be straight into the pits, I would imagine, Chief. But we will see. Justin still yet to deploy this battery. Dan and Justin just showing the raw pace that they have got, able to maintain this level of pace with using I wouldn't even say minimal, almost no battery, hardly anything worth talking about. But here we go. Let's see what happens. Justin still not pitting.
Oh, Danny, he kind of leaned left there. Bit of a dummy there.
Yeah, we're getting there. Dan, the man, using a little bit. Justin was using as well now. When I say using, 5%. But yeah, definitely, I think let's have a wee look at this battery. Is Justin using? Nothing yet. Likely see it being used here. Oh, look at this. Look at the understeer now. And still nothing. Still nothing. Imagine having so much confidence and pace that you don't even need to use battery in Tier 1, Chief.
Yeah, this is these guys flexing hard. Yeah, I'm looking at the interval, or the interval to leader. So the pit stops are around about 26 seconds. X-Crystal getting a 3-second time penalty. Oh, is there a move back? Oh, it's Icewind and a Desi. But yeah, the pit stop's about 26 seconds. So if Justin and Dan, Meepo, Touche pit now, they're probably going to come out just ahead of a Desi then. And yeah, McKender will be ahead of them, but will still have to pit on those mediums.
And if quite a few time penalties are also racking up. Oh, Dan running a bit deep. Dan running deep into the corner. I can't remember what corner turn it is. Anyway, these hards, Chief, surely must be giving up the goose shortly. Justin not pitting. Justin is pitting. So
that was late. That was very late. That was almost dangerously late. I think Dan was not expecting that. Neither were we, but that's it. Yeah, he likes to try different stuff, doesn't he, Justin? So he's went in a bit earlier than we thought. Although I tell you what, Lepson did call it. He said pit window around lap 17. So this must be the earliest time you can pit. And let's see where Justin comes out then. I think is Tenari going to get past him? Yes, he does. So he's going to come out P6, unless a Desi's able to get in here. But I think he's ahead enough to stay ahead of a Desi, which is good news for him. The less traffic he has to navigate, the better.
Dan not using too much battery either. He is obviously deployed a lot more than normal. He's down to 87, but that is deploying a little bit of a boost out of the corners, but not as much as you would expect. And I mean, as you rightfully say, you do indeed regen a fair amount in the pits. But maybe see Dan might start unleashing it here a little bit for a boost, and then yeah, I think it used to be previous games after anything after P6, anything after Gear 6, and you kind of used to lose the effect of ERS. Yep,
and Danico may well pit this lap. He isn't using too much. He's using a bit more than he has done in previous laps, down to 83%. Let's see if he does decide to pit this time. He does indeed. I thought he might have run another lap longer, but I tell you what, honestly, I'm kind of mystified as to why they didn't use a lot of ERS before they pitted. Like, Danico could have picked up maybe 5 to possibly a second of delta heading into the pits, which would have been pretty huge in his battle against Justin. But let's see where he filters out. The pit stop was pretty quick. McKender is in P2, but still has to pit. We've got Touche coming out right behind Danico as well. So let's see. Danico is, oh my word, Justin has, that's, what the hell?
That pit stop is just huge for Justin.
How is there that much difference? That was 1 lap difference.
Just a fresh rubber, man, I would imagine.
Oh my word. That's crazy.
So it is prime position now in lap 19. Still a good bit to go yet, of course. But that's prime position for Dan. Not only has he got that fresh rubber on, but of course he has now built a little bit of let me try that again in English. He has built up a little bit of a cushion now to Dan. And of course Dan has 2 Ferraris in front. Tuna won't really pose much of a threat because he is on 18 lap old hards. A Desi on the other hand, still reasonably fresh hards, and that might be enough to push Dan back a little bit further. Dan is not going to be able to pass Adesi here. Dan setting purples.
Yeah, Dan's got his work cut out for him, doesn't he? As Meepo is in the pits, McKender is going to take the lead of this race. But yeah, Danny Co has traffic, whereas Justin has no traffic. He has a clear track ahead of him. And yeah, Danny Co is getting held up here, heading into the last corner. He's going to want to get this move past Adesi ASAP. This is costing him time, hand over fist, and he gets the move done, heading into turn 1. It looked like he cut in front of Adesi pretty tightly, and Adesi had to cut the track there in the second part on the exit of turn 1. So I don't think Danico was too happy about that. 4.2, Bob, is the gap between Danico and Justin. That was just 1 lap difference in pit.
No, I think Adesi's actually braked early, Chief, to get out of that, because he even moved it over and let Tudge past as well. So Adesi is not here to race. I think he's just here literally to take part today. He does say himself, he says he's finished. Of course, we don't believe that. He's just got just life has got in the way and he doesn't have time to practice. But do you know what, Chief? As you say, 4.2 is now down to 3.7. Dan really starting to unload on his battery, as well as Justin as well. But of course, there is a potential. Oh, I was just about to say. I was just literally going to say there is a potential saving grace for Dan that he has his teammate up ahead and Justin's going to catch him. And I was going to say maybe Mac can hold Justin off a little bit, but certainly not going to happen now.
And McKender, his ghosted car goes into the pits. Of course it does. What's he going to put on hards? Oh my god. This is terrible. I mean, come on. We've had like 3 or 4 disconnects, including yourself, Bob. Justin fast lap, quickly overtaken there by Danico with the fastest lap. So Danico is on it. He knows he's got work to do. McKenna in the pits. He puts on old mediums. Of course he does.
Oh my god.
So he has to pit again. Oh my god. What is wrong with this game? Why would it pit for old mediums? That is so dumb. Oh my god.
Now, of course, the thing is, you know what people are. Certain people will start saying in chat, if Justin gets this, oh, he's so lucky, so lucky that Mac happened to just disconnect at that time, blah, 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 blah. Look, that's nonsense. You make your own luck in life, and Justin's always positioned himself pretty well in races to capitalise in events like this. And at the moment, he's doing a great job here. So is Dan as well. He's cutting that 4.2 down to 3 seconds. So Dan definitely has got the march on. As you say, he's got the program, he's got the message. It's time to attack.
Yeah, he definitely does. Obviously, he's got a big mountain in front of him. It's 3 seconds, just under 3 seconds now. But what he does have in his back pocket is that 1 lap fresher tires. It may not seem like much, but in your head, you're thinking every lap, these are 1 lap fresher tires. Every lap, they should be slightly faster than that guy ahead if I can drive the complete life out of this car. And it looks like Danny Co has got that message, like you say, loud and clear. 2.9 currently, and yeah, it looks like Danny Co is on it today. We may be in for another special Danny Co finish, but I don't want to speak too soon.
Yeah, Justin will be absolutely determined not to lose out again in the last lap. So we do actually have a proper race in the hand between the P1 and P2, and Meepo, if he can squeeze up to Tudge, of course he does have the time penalty.
Oh, Danico is out. Left the session. Yeah, and he's hosting the session, so this could be huge. This is a terrible race. In fact, and Justin's out as well. X Crystals, yeah, it looks like the lobby is done. And that is terrible. I mean, yeah, we had early signs that this might have been the case, but we were hoping that it would fix itself, but it has not done that. We have the 2 front runners now ghosted, and I don't know what's going to happen here.
Well, I think we should stay on board because there is still a race. There's still drivers here. Meepo is still here. Tudge is still here. So we could have an absolute drama here and Meepo might actually still take the race win, Chief.
Yeah, McKenna in chat saying Steam is offline, but it's alright for me. I know you had an issue there, Bob, but it seems alright at the minute. Maybe it's just regional. But Danico is in the UK, so I don't know.
Yeah, so for me, Steam was online, but my friends list was sent offline, and I had to click online to make it work. Oh, Maple's now left the session, my goodness. So they're dropping like flies, but there are still drivers in the session. But as I was going to say though, Chief, I have like a 900 megabits per second full fiber to my home. I never have any issues, and I'm thinking if I lose connection, there's definitely something up because I never disconnect. So yeah, definitely we're having an issue. I mean, if I know there's quite a lot of drivers disconnected now. If I look at this, Fox is not here, Crystals is not here, Desi's not here, Mac is not here. Who else? Meepo, Danny, Justin. Effectively, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers on the track right now.
Yeah, that's definitely not good sign for the race. It may be the case that this one gets called, but we'll stick with it and see. Justin saying he can't rejoin. Yeah, Codemaster's absolutely brilliant. And I'm just checking the Discord here as well, so sorry for pausing the stream there. Yeah, we await a decision on the race, but it looks like this one might be done and dusted. Danny also having problems reconnecting. Yeah, so this is just a cursed race, I think. Tilda now out of the session.
We're down to 4 drivers, Chief. I think we might have to call this session at lap 21, I think it might have been. Which is a shame. Yeah, the lobby's screwed.
Migrating host, yeah. Tanari is still in the session, it looks like, so effectively might win this race if it were to continue. But yeah, I'm just getting driver after driver messages left the session, so session doesn't exist for Justin. There we go. Oh well, we were on for another, possibly a grand finale, but it turned into damn squib.
Yeah, I think we should really just take the results from what, lap 2021, something like that, I think, before Dan and Justin disconnected. Because this is just an absolute poo show now.
Yeah, and if that's... Yeah, Danny, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, hello. Is it everyone disconnected now?
Apart from Tanari, who's loving life right now. He's still driving. Yeah, it said migrating host, but it kicked pretty much everybody out, I think. Tilda has joined, apparently. And you're 1.1 second behind Justin, so if you do get it, if you do get back in, could be a close finish, but yeah, pretty much everybody got kicked out. Tanari 5-second corner cutting. Oh, Tanari in the wall. Yeah, it's over. Yeah, so that's that. I guess we take it from lap 21 or 22, like Bob said.
I mean, everyone was disconnecting the entire race, so we're probably gonna have to. Yeah, I can't even join it back. I think we might have to have a look into this. I think we might have to either rerun it or something.
Yeah, well, we've got a break week next week. Maybe there's an opportunity there. But Danny, just while you're in the chat, we weren't going to do interviews for this one, but just while you're here, what was your thing? Do you think you could have caught Justin there because you were eating into that lead? And also, when I ask about the pit stop, were you surprised at how far you were behind Justin when you came out of that pit stop?
No, I wasn't. About the pit stop, that is, sorry.
Yeah, and then do you think you could have got Justin in the end there? You were eating into his lead a bit.
Yes. I don't know what ERS he was on, but I wasn't using, but I was still gaining a fair bit.
The last time I checked Justin and you were really catching him, he was down to about 86%.
So he wasn't using either. That case, I think it would have been a tough battle. Yeah, it's hard to say what could have happened and stuff because, well, F1 game.
Yeah, I know it's frustrating, innit? But it is what it is. We will discuss the race after, I guess, in the admin chat. Crawley saying I was about to win. It was rigged. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. We will make a decision on whether we rerun that or just take the points from when it disconnected. But unfortunately, that's the way the game goes sometimes. You love to see it, don't you, Bob?
Well, it is what it is, man. As you say, uh, we don't get much of a turnout, and then even when we do, this kind of nonsense happens. But look, what can you do? What can you say? It's like the game with Codemasters. These things happen.
Yeah, possibly Steam related as well, but we don't know. We'll have a look afterwards. But yeah, not great. Yeah, and it's happened a few times with this game already, though, hasn't it? We had one other race, Danny Co. I think you got kicked from the session, and then the whole session just turned to crap.
Yeah, yeah, Japan last season.
Yeah, that was another damn squib, but it just wasn't meant to be today. I don't think there was not a good turnout, and then yeah, technical issues. So it is what it is. As we said, we will be back next week, possibly with Tier 1 rerun, but if not, it'll be a break week, and then we're back at Brazil for Tier 1, 2, and 3. Apologies that we had to end this one shortly. It was out of our hands, but we tried, Bob. We tried. We showed up. We tried, but it wasn't to be. So we should have just played some AOE, man.
Yeah, the main thing is we made the effort. So
Yeah.
we just gonna hopefully hope that the people that didn't show up have a bit of guilt.
Yeah.
Guilt tripped them. Although they'll say, "But sure, their game crashed anyway." But that's not the point. You
See,
didn't know that in advance.
yeah, if you had showed up, maybe it wouldn't have cried. It probably would have.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's it. We're gonna wrap up the stream then. So yeah, we'll be back. We've got a break week next week. There's a chance to Tier 1 or maybe a special event of some kind next week. But if not, we'll be back for Brazil in 2 weeks' time. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing all the tiers back in action. Got some tight championships. Tier 1 not so much, thanks to Danny who's glorious run recently, but who knows? Justin may well. He showed he had pace today, and he might be able to catch
Well,
it, Danny.
I won't be here for the 5th.
Oh.
I think it's the 5th. Is it the 5th?
You're just gonna have to wrap it up before that, then, Dan.
Unfortunately, that is supposed to be Brazil.
Yeah,
So.
that could be huge actually. It's 25 points on the table. Interesting. Yeah. Well, that'll help make the championship a bit more spicier because you are dominating a little bit in Tier
I'm
1
not
these days.
dominating.
How many races have you run recently? Is it 3 in a row?
It wasn't 3 rows, 2 in a row.
2. Anyway,
Then
yeah,
Spa happened for them.
yeah, it'll definitely help Justin in the championship, but maybe not so good for you. But yeah, we will be back soon enough. So thanks everybody for watching, and apologies again for the short stream. Bye now.